this video, guys, we're gonna do Sun Wheel. So I picked my beautiful giant Shuriken that I have to be fitting, right, for do a Sun Wheel Wagakki Band reaction. So before we go into the music, this is this week's tool. Then of course, right, the Shuriken. This is a bigger version, of course, as well on the video as well, right. I think it's fitting because it is like a wheel, right? You can it spins around like this, you control it and so on. But this one is actually more of an actual, like you could have it as, you know, like a hand grip, right? You can also then reattach it, detach it. So you can press the button here in the middle, and then it flies out, and so on. So it's interesting. This has a more bigger size, of course, Shuriken than what they usually are. And you can also kind of use it like this, right? Like a fist weapon like that. Just having it, you know, in one hand, right? So you have like a... If you like the video, guys, please subscribe. Press that like button and let's check out Sun Wheel. Not a very high paced kind of poppy more beginning, definitely. I love the surrounding there, in that we call bamboo forest, right? This is very Japanese culture. How many, like, you know, swords haven't you seen this kind of terrain, right? This feels very Japanese. Yeah, it's a nice stage, right? It's classic. But definitely, just like last week, one of their more faster, high paced intros, I would say. Definitely. The flute is way more powerful. I'm sorry if I don't remember the name now. What is the flute called, right? Think about it. But, you know, the Japanese flute, yeah, this one is, I think, is much more prominent in this song especially. And also the drums to some extent. But yeah, I think definitely the flute is what really stands out here in the first bit of this music video. Absolutely. More so than usually does. It's much, both like higher pacing, right? How he's playing the flute, but also just like it sounds like, how say it? I feel it's higher, right? It's higher pitched. Yeah, I think it's higher pitched, right, than it usually is. Both high pitched and faster. So I think the flute is what definitely sticks out to me. But leave a comment below if you know what it's called. It was interesting. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, sounds like a light show. This is a real light show, or this is added on top of it though? I have to say it was kind of airy. What do you guys think? I think it was kind of airy, right? Because I mean, there might be like light particles there, right? They might have some kind of light source behind them there, but the light on like the bamboo, like behind them in the middle, that to me looks honestly kind of added on, like an afterwards. I think it's a mixture of it. Now I'm gonna really. Yeah, it's uncanny to me. So it's perplexing here, yeah, because it doesn't feel like it should let up that. Well, maybe it reflects on top of that though. I keep watching, but I have to say it's a little bit airy, yeah, it's a little bit weird. Maybe it's on purpose though, right? But if it's basically a mixture between actual lighting added and also extra effect afterwards. It has to be added on top of that. It has to be added as a layer on top of it, right? Especially that kind of what's it called again? A parallelogram, whatever it's called, the shape. And they kind of appear, parallelogram, something like that in Swedish. What it has called over it. That thing appeared over them. That looked like an overlay. That was like an overlay of an overlay. Yeah, that looked very airy. I like it. Joe Chris producer katana at the end. But this, I mean, yeah, this kind of shape, right, has to be overlaid over afterwards. That's So here, right, it has to be an overlay. The lighting has to be that because it's not an actual light source like over here. That has to be put afterwards, right? But especially this, of course, this like a weird, it's like a trom shape in this sense here then. Let's be later on afterwards, right? But I think it's a mixture though, because in modern scene there's some kind of light coming up here. So it's probably like some, lights and panels, right? Because a real light, and then it's like some laid out light as well there. So I think it's a mixture of that. What do you think? It was nice. The Yoko, right? Brings out the katana here. She gets a little bit of 1 minute of katana action, like sword dancing moves. That was cool. And so on, yeah, so nice visuals of her. In the end half instead, it definitely was the koto instead, like the Japanese harp, I guess you call it, right? Or what else we call it, the piano, but it's like a string instrument always lying down. Right? It had a lot of screen time, or I suppose sound time then, for the last minute. As I said earlier, right, the flute had a lot more in the beginning, but I think the flute had a lot of playing as well, though, in the end as well. But yeah, this is an interesting song. I think that stems from the the instrumental band, right? Because it felt like more focused on perhaps some of the instrument doesn't get that focused. I think obviously kind of like the Shamisen, right, and the classic Japanese has more focused overall in some of the other songs. So yeah, this felt a little more, I said, aiming at maybe the less here time instruments, especially the flute, right? Especially the flute. But we do hear this harp instrument a lot, though. I think it is the final harp instrument. I'm not wrong, but I think that's what we call it in English, right? Overall, I mean, like the harp as a sub-genre for it, right? But yeah, definitely one of the higher paced again. More pop, I would say, right? This song here in the beginning. Definitely more J-poppy. Yeah, definitely much higher tempo one. I would say so a lot more than most of their songs, except the one I also did last week. Definitely more higher tempo. So this song then didn't have so much of what I think they usually have, right, with that typical Japanese structure of the act 1, 2, 3 and the climax. What they did have a little bit tempo changes. I think it felt more like it was at the same overall tempo until the last minute, when they was doing kind of this more choir singing. I don't know what it's called otherwise, but yeah, kind of like a prolonged syllabus thing, right? Whatever. You know what I mean? The chord in the end here. It felt like it was basically 2 acts, right? Or rather, it was like a climax. It was like the climactic bit, but it wasn't having so much of the build-up, perhaps. So definitely a little more interesting, or it felt more not usually how they do it. I would say, right, in the structural bit of their music videos. I think they usually don't have this kind of like general build up and then the ending and so on. However, like I said, the ending though felt kind of the last minute, that kind of felt how they usually do it, right? And then the first 3 minutes were a little bit different, a little bit faster, but then we go back into that like loop up build up. So try the video, guys. Please subscribe, press the like button, have a great day.